What up, Simon?
Howdy doodly.
Howdly doodly, neighbor. Neighborino.
Yeah. That's a nice one.
Not too much. Just hanging out. Thought I'd come online for a little bit, see what everybody was up to.
I thought that's really interesting what you're saying about the person that got born on a leap year.
Yeah. I always wonder how the law looks at that. Like if they just lie about your birthday. Like because to drive you technically have to be, a certain age. To drink you have to be a certain age. So they pretty much just have to lie about your age or just say you were born on a different date in order to otherwise you'd only be 9 years old when you're 29. What is it, every 4 years or something like that you get a birthday?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of interesting because that is actually kind of hilarious because if you were actually born on a leap year, you must feel like your life was caught short, right?
I'd feel special. I'd feel special, I think.
It's one of them things. It's just like no one thinks about it. But yeah.
Yeah, Mudrabbit said she used to work with a guy who had a B-day that was on a leap year, and he acted his age.
He acted his age.
And the system adjusts for it. Yeah, I assume they pick a date, before or after it. But yeah, still an interesting one.
Yeah, and it makes me feel kind of privileged, because it's like I'm the worst of the worst sometimes, but if I was born on a leap year, it just gives me that much extra to think about.
Yeah, that's true.
Little
extra thought. Like I remember the first time somebody told me about that, I was kind of confused. I was like, wait a minute, how does this work?
Yeah,
they just celebrate on the 27th or the 1st.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Mudrabbit. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Simon?
Just taking things in my stride.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, like the leap year person. God damn.
Well, it's pretty good for me. My dad is in Lebanon, and Mr. Rabbit is down getting cataract surgery in Fort Lauderdale. So I'm going nuts in the yard, putting on in the gardens. It's the new moon this week.
That's a lot. I mean, I went for a dentist appointment yesterday, and I wouldn't really want to think about a cataracts appointment. That's is a lot. Have you reached out to him? How did it go?
He went down there. He goes back and forth because the condo is down there in Hollywood. So he goes back and forth, and then when he gets rested, because he does a lot of work up here. He comes up here and he tiles. My ceiling fell in the living room, so that's his next project. There's a cottage in the back. We bought a handyman special. So there's a cottage in the back. He's put in the tiling and the cabinetry and done all the work. And there's a cabin that he did all the tiling and the drywall and all that stuff. So a little bit at a time. And at the same time, we're working on this place. So I'm doing what I can here with the yard before he gets back, because it's time to plant. And I want everything to be growing by spring so we don't have to depend on the grocery store.
So he's waiting to recover, and then you got some chores for him to get to.
Oh no, he wants to do that. This is his thing. This is what we always did. We would buy fixer-uppers like duplexes, and we would move into one half, fix it up, move into the other half, rent the first half out, and as long as the first half was rented, it would pay our mortgage. And then we'd fix up the other half, and then we'd save our money, because it's easy to do when you don't have to pay a mortgage. So with the money coming in for the rent, it enables us to save money. And then we bought a triplex and did the same thing. And then we bought a condo on the beach. So yeah, you work your way up.
No, I
There's a
know
lot.
that my
There's a
grandpa's
lot.
like
There's a lot
that.
of work.
He's one of those busybodies that just has to, be doing
Yeah.
something the whole time.
Exactly. And my guy is Lebanese, and the Lebanese are always into real estate and, buildings and things like that.
They're also into kebabs.
Yeah, well, that's my dad. He's had a restaurant. We had a Lebanese restaurant. Go figure. Shawarma for everybody. Have a falafel.
Yo, but they do the realest. You guys say if you've ever been to Lebanon.
I have.
Yeah.
Hey, Propagate.
That's the real food over there.
What
you know what I'm saying?
What are you talking about? Did I inspire something? I was confused. I was gonna ask, but I was waiting until Simon.
Well, you brought up the title, How to Doodly. How can you now come on. You want us to be serious?
Oh no, you don't have to be serious. I was just curious about what Propagate was talking about. Oh no, I've been making AI. Yeah, I've been making AI stuff for a while, Propagate. But I just do pictures. I don't do videos.
Yeah. Have you seen his videos?
Yeah, I've seen the Will Smith eating spaghetti.
Yeah, they're delightfully weird.
Yeah, no, he came over here.
You said delightfully weird.
Yeah, I said we need more dinosaurs, and then the very next day I pulled up a short that had a Tyrannosaurus Rex in it.
That's
and I was
hilarious.
like, yes.
Wow.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I was asking Prop about the first time he came on my channel, I was asking him about the Will Smith stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, you got to explain this to me. And then I came over to his open panel on a Monday, and then somebody else that was in there asked him about it. I was like, yeah, I just asked about this. I was curious too. But yeah, no, I've been messing with the AI pictures for a while. I got a bunch of those.
Why are you curious about Will Smith?
I was just curious about what he thought he thought he inspired something, and I was wondering if I did something that he inspired me to do. I just wasn't sure what the reference was.
Okay.
But yeah, I got way too many. I got way too many AIs.
I've been to some of his readings, and that's what I found. Like everyone wants to put things into their own sort of mind state, right? But have you ever been to a reading? Like
what are you? What
type
of readings?
Reading?
What type of reading?
A reading is like prior to like a film or a book or something being released, like all characters will sit around the room,
like a screen read or whatever, or a script.
Yeah.
And then screenplay. No, I've never been to one.
You'll play the character over a table, because I've been for a few of them.
No, the closest I ever came was Rocky Horror.
Rocky what? Oh my Lord! Bring that up! Oh my Lord!
Yeah, my daughter went to one of those shows the other day.
Oh my Lord!
We did it back in the 70s.
Oh, it's a blast.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's the punk era.
Yeah, they play it on syndicated TV here and even on cable every Halloween.
Like the movies, the movie's really cool, but it's like when you actually go to one of those live shows, there's so much audience participation that people don't know about. And if you actually go into it, it's like a little community of people that have these things that they shout out and throw stuff on stage, and it's weird.
And you used to have the people that were newbies that would be saying,
yeah,
trying to shush you before they actually get it, because then people start standing up and getting. The theater we went to had this stage on the front, and they would get up on that stage in front of the movie and do it, and that's when they would get it. It's like, oh, it's supposed to be this way.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of like totally. And I don't like to bring this up too often. I do this only on Jacob's platform, where it totally reminds me of like WWE, like in terms of there was just an error, Jacob, did you see that thing that went down on with Vince McMahon?
With his lawsuit, well, multiple lawsuits.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of it's actually going to be done. Like, because everybody's like, oh, he stepped away from the business. He didn't even really step away from the business. I think it lasted like a couple months, and then he became the main shareholder, and so he basically still runs the business. He just has other people's face involved with it, and I think it's to separate the business entity from himself so that people can't sue the WWE for his actions when he worked there.
This is a really successful man, right? But at the end of the day, the three
most successful people that are best friends that I think about all the time are Vince McMahon, Donald Trump, and Dana White. And these three have done stuff.
Thank you.
These three have done stuff together for so many years that people will actually overlook it. There's a reason that Trump used to go to the WWE. He's also got a great relationship with Madison Square Garden. So,
did you guys see what he did today?
No, what did he do today?
Yeah, what did he do?
He actually threw Zelensky out of the White House.
I reckon he had his eye on that for a minute because Lewinsky was playing.
You should have seen it. I'm pretty sure Zelensky was.
Lewinsky was playing big time.
Did you see that? Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it. I feel like somebody should make a video though with Uncle Phil throwing Jazzy Jeff out of the house and then paste that together. That's where my brain went.
The AI videos are already showing up all over X.
Oh, Mudrabbit, you gonna do it? Come on. Huh? You gonna do it? Come on, Mudrabbit, you gotta do it. Come on.
Do what?
She doesn't make AI videos, do you?
No, I don't make them.
No, but you could do like the thing about like, you know, the throw out situation. You know what I'm saying?
I've got a limpy laptop and an iPhone and too many animals and too many gardens that I don't have time to do stuff like that.
I was just thinking, Mudrabbit, I should have you, because I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, you started sending me clips of what was going on in politics, and I kind of reviewed a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
Those videos took off like goddamn rockets. And,
they did.
Well, and I had probably 40 comments from like everybody on each different video. And if you go to like both of my both my YouTube channels, I'm just getting into some like deep political conversations with people about Chuck Schumer and Bernie Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard.
I know it really does trigger some people, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, they get hot.
It does.
But
I mean,
today's performance, J.D. Vance was trying to talk to Zelensky and explain to him why we didn't want to keep shelling out money to him. And Zelensky kept interrupting him Zelensky doesn't know how to be a politician. He was a comedian and a dancer before, and he's playing a part. He was. That's the truth. So here he is, and he's trying to interrupt J.D. Vance. And finally, he said something that just triggered Trump, and Trump jumped all over his ass and wouldn't let up, just like a dog on a bone, man. And finally, Zelensky got to the point where he was just so damn insulting. Trump kicked him out of the White House, had him escorted right out the front door and into his limo.
It's funny.
I thought, that's what I find kind of interesting about Trump. He reminds me of myself in a bad way. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm like, it's good for business.
We finally have a real American as a politician. We don't have these guys that are bought and paid for by other countries, you know. So now we've got a real American that's got American interests, and he's speaking up because that's what we do over here. This bullshit.
And that's what it's
hate
supposed to
speech,
be.
they call it. It's freedom of speech. If you don't like it, plug your ears or go.
There you go,
away.
Jacob. Look, Jacob's going to be the next one. Look, watch.
No.
Go, Jacob, go. I'll vote for you.
But like the biggest disconnect with all this stuff, and people are starting like, and this is probably the biggest thing I'm getting in arguments with people in the chat, is this support for what's it called? Who is it that's with Russia that we've been just the Ukraine? The support for the Ukraine and what the U.S. thinks that
Zelensky.
yeah, Zelensky, and like what involvement they think the U.S. is supposed to have, and it's just like we're looking at all these NATO members, and we know that the U.S. is playing more than all of Europe combined. It's just
They don't
countries are
they
in
don't
Europe?
contribute.
Anymore.
They don't
Like,
have the finances. Have you ever been to Ukraine? Jesus
well, no,
Christ!
it doesn't. It
I
doesn't
mean,
matter.
goddamn,
It's
what?
simple. It's simple though, because all you got to do is say, okay, why are these people able to offer, free healthcare or something like that? Because they don't pay as much into other things. That's why.
There's only.
Let me use Canada. Canada's a great example too. Canada's
It's only
offers.
it's the Commonwealth that offers free healthcare, and that's based on the UK premise.
But it has to do with government money intake. Like
but it ain't even.
Money.
Oh, Jacob, I'll tell you something, right? It ain't even going on right now. I went to the dentist yesterday, and they gave me a 500 pound bill, like just based on the fact that there's no funding out here. Like I think, it's kind of interesting what's going on. Like I think we actually recovered. You know what I mean?
I think that they're actually realizing how much the cost of living actually is and how much our military funding is actually going to. There's a reason that we can't offer free healthcare. It's because we spend our money on everything else. And then we're working on stuff with like Doge to trim the fat, where it's like all of this money has gone missing for so long. And I don't know, it's weird that people are all up in arms that we're digging into
while
it.
they have wasted money. People have died and suffered while they have wasted money.
Think about how many veterans could have been taken care of. How many, gosh, dude, it's endless money that we just throw in the garbage.
My mother didn't have to die the way she did. She'd still be with us if the treatment ivermectin were allowed to the public. She would still be alive.
I mean, I agree with that. Like my mother passed away when she was 55 years old. Is based on the fact that she didn't get the correct health care. And
it's not
you
fair.
could travel across the globe to actually try to get that, and still it don't matter. You know what I mean? And that's we're not gonna. I don't know. I just think it's a lot to take in when you're in a position where you could potentially speak out about it or potentially do something about it. Like
we speak out about it over here, and we're doing it now, and we're going after the people that denied us.
But it's weird because our own people are like against it, and I don't understand why. Like it's so.
I don't think Trump.
They're a minority.
I think Trump's got the right idea. Like his whole thing is, we can't have war because war ain't good for business. You know what I'm saying? And as soon as he stepped in, when Biden was in, I was like, yo, bro.
We were talking about this before. Like, he is a good businessman, but I think he's going about making money a different way. For the longest time, war is where people made their money. Like, that's why we've always been perpetually in wars, all of U.S. history. Like,
the thing is,
at the turn of the century, we were the wealthiest nation on the planet, and we were getting wealthier. And what happened was the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, they took over. They changed our medical system. They changed our educational system. They destroyed historic sites, and they taught our kids a different history. My great-grandmother was an orphan on the orphan train. So
okay, so look,
don't
so
know
when you're all right, so I kind of get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But
so what
that
he's
was
doing
all right,
back
so
then. Well, let me finish. Let me finish.
Right.
Back then.
Okay, that's cool. Now I think this is really fucking interesting.
I haven't made my point yet. Back then, we took tariffs. We didn't tax our citizens. We did our business by tariffs. That's why we were wealthy. What he's doing is he's taking away the IRS so we don't pay taxes anymore, and reinstating the tariff system, because we get tariffed like crazy by all the other countries, but we don't tariff any of them. So now we're going to tariff them and make ourselves rich again. Our governor here in DeSantis just killed property tax.
Nice. Yeah,
killed property tax.
And there's so many levels to what the tariffs are going to do, and especially with small business. I was trying to explain this to somebody. There's no reason that you have to get licensed in every single city and town that you work in, because these are all things that the tax bracket is basically putting in front of the people so they can't work. You should have a right to work in every state. You don't have to pay extra things on top of that. And I think that's going to eventually get taken out of the system as well. I think the whole IRS is going to get revamped, and our tax-paying policies are going to change. At least I hope.
Yeah, they are, because what happens is
you can jump on that question, Terry. I mean,
yeah.
that Terry had for you, Mudrabbit, if you want.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about something else, but go ahead. I'm
Terry,
sorry.
No, we'll jump back into it.
Terry, I think you're on Truth Social. Am I correct? You should be able to see it on Trump's own or JD Vance.
I was definitely say.
Okay. He had Zelensky in the White House today. He threw him out. So,
but yeah, I don't know. There's when it comes to the set, I don't know. I feel like there's so many outspoken people. It just, and it doesn't seem like bots. Like, there are people actually engaging with me in conversations that really don't believe any of this is true. And I'm like, do you really think Elon Musk wants all of your information and wants to take over the world? Like, I don't know why
the only
people
thing
hate
you
Elon
can
Musk
do
now.
is present them with facts. And what they do is they come at you with, oh, Elon's going to get all our private information. Oh, Elon just got clearance, top level clearance. Elon's always had top level clearance, guys. He makes rockets for NASA.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, and it's also, think about how many less people will be looking at it if his system is going through this stuff rather than people doing it by hand. Like, you could have an AI system go through something and figure out where the issue is. That's not actually looking into your personal social security numbers. Like, it'll pass them, but it's not a person,
Right.
so it's not saving it.
Well,
and
what happened in the social security system was they duplicated numbers for people, and there are people that are like 130 years old still collecting social security, so they had to clean up the rolls.
Well, and this will also probably trim a lot of the fat on our voting system when it comes to people that are able to register to vote. There's people that are dead that have been registered to vote every year, and it's just,
think of it this way: the way Trump thinks and what they were talking about, this payout to people. Remember that they're hinting at dividends. Since the United States has been a corporation since 1914, 1918, something like that. Since it's been established a corporation, why are we paying taxes to it? It should be paying us dividends. So there's a lot of back payments that we're owed as citizens.
That's what they were talking about, is how much the citizens could actually make with payout.
Exactly.
And I was like, that's insane.
No, they're not going to give it to us in one lump sum because that would crash the economy.
So was Biden putting a hold on the child tax credit that was put through by Donald Trump in the first?
He was putting a hold on everything. Everything he promised, he did not do.
No, I know. I was just trying to figure out, because a lot of people are talking about specifics, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm trying to break down the specifics of all this stuff. And it's like, well, because somebody was arguing with me, like, about Bernie Sanders, about that video we watched where he was like, well, it was all the private donors. It wasn't the big corporations.
No, the child tax credit was before Biden. Biden, like, everything he bragged about were things that were already in work. They're not talking to people who do their research and people who know better. They're talking to the stupid people who don't do their research and who are hooked into CNN. And their big mistake is that they think there's more of them than there's more of us. No.
But I was using that as an example because people take a little bit of truth and then they try to make it into what's actually going on. It's like, okay, even if you can make the argument that Bernie was only collecting money from private donors, when he yielded after Hillary clearly took him out of the election, and she was staging riots at his events, and the DNC basically booted him out of the party, when he yielded and said, you guys need to vote for Hillary Clinton for your Democratic nominee, then all of his money went right to the Democratic Party. So all of those private donors, whatever he was getting, all of it yielded to the Democratic Party. So it's like, yeah, you guys can put Bernie on a pedestal, but he yielded to the machine just like everybody else does.
Yeah.
So I don't know why
He always has.
Oh, yeah.
Bernie has never had a job in his entire life. Bernie's always sucked off the teat of the U.S. government.
It's breadline Bernie.
Yeah.
You can't really say done that.
Can't really say what. It's a fact. He's never had a job.
I
Okay,
ain't gonna
all these
argue
people
with
that
you.
have been in government for 40 plus years and